Good evening and welcome to NAZ Today. I'm community anchor Nick Robbie.
And I'm student anchor Colleen Sikora. Thanks for joining us.
Well, following the death of 19 hotshots during the Yarnell Hill wildfire on June 30th, an investigation was launched to determine the events of the fire and the cause of the death of the firefighters.
On Saturday, September 28th, the results of the investigation were released to the public. NAZ Today videographer Mason Agnew went to Prescott High School to attend the press conference.
19 firefighters died on June 30th on the Yarnell Hill fire. And our goal in this accident, our request for our delegation from the Arizona State Division of Forestry was to put a full report together that looked at what happened during the course of that Yarnell Hill fire.
The Serious Accident Investigation Report for the Yarnell Hill fire was released to the public on Saturday, September 28th. Following a 3-month-long investigation into the deaths of the Granite Mountain hotshots.
In order to facilitate understanding of what happened and why, we made this accident investigation report available in its entirety online today.
A 21-minute-long video was released alongside the report in order to facilitate understanding of the events of the fire.
It's a summation of what is in the report, but more importantly, it's a graphical representation of what took place starting Friday afternoon with the initial attack of the Yarnell Hill, ending with the deployment of the Granite Mountain hotshots Sunday afternoon.
The reaction to this report by family members of the Granite Mountain hotshots, as well as members of the media, was varied, but concerns were raised over 2 main points of the report. The first point of concern was with the choice of the hotshots to leave a zone that was safe from the fire in order to reposition at a different, predetermined safe area.
In the radio communications, this was their process of moving through their escape route to their safety zone, which was the Boulder Springs Range. In that process, the team really believed that the crew was in the process of repositioning, moving to a safety zone with the ability then to re-engage.
The second main point of concern dealt with the level of safety of the fire shelters provided to the firefighters.
Whatever equipment you had would not have been survivable. We're talking an area that was difficult to defend, did not provide them enough protection. As the fire came into that drainage, the winds were pushing it so hard that the flames were laying horizontal, went through, and so there was direct contact to the shelters from the flames going over that site. And we're talking about temperatures in excess of 2,000 degrees. It would be difficult to understand what kind of protection you would need to develop.
Regardless of the cause of death of the firefighters, this event will be remembered as one of the greatest tragedies of American wildfires. Hopefully, through the information gained from this report, we can prevent accidents like this from happening ever again.
For a full summary of the events of the Yarnell Hill fire, you can watch the report video in its entirety on our website, naztoday.com.
And the national government is expected to shut down tonight at 9 p.m. local time. The shutdown comes as a result of weeks of disagreement between Republicans and Democrats on passing a new spending bill for the next fiscal year. And if Congress does not reach an agreement by tonight at midnight Eastern Standard Time, the government will cut funding to all non-essential spending. Javier Rangel has this interview.
Hello, I'm here today with Fred Solip, Professor of International Affairs and Politics here at NAU. How are you today?
Terrific, thank you.
Okay, Fred's here to talk to us about the government shutdown that's looming to happen. So for those of us who don't know, what is a government shutdown?
Well, essentially, there's a budget year to the federal government, and that budget year begins October 1st. In order for programs to be funded, services to be funded, the president needs to sign a spending bill. In order for the president to sign a spending bill, Congress needs to send him a spending bill. Congress has failed to do that this year, so there's nothing to sign. There's no money in the budget for the moment.
Say that the government shuts down. Okay, so what will stop happening?
Well, we'll see some immediate effects. We'll see the national parks being closed. We'll see some other employees being out of a job. For instance, locally we have the USGS. They're scientists who are doing what's considered non-essential work for the federal government, and they will be furloughed for some time. So overall, we're talking about roughly 800,000 employees not coming to work tomorrow, not having a paycheck until the government gets funded.
Wow. Okay, so you mentioned about national parks being closed. Okay, so how do you think that would affect Flagstaff, who's kind of like been known as the gateway to the Grand Canyon?
Well, we are the gateway to the Grand Canyon. A lot of tourists come through Flagstaff. They come through Flagstaff and they spend money at hotels, at restaurants, at businesses downtown. So we will see a reduction in revenues coming in from those different outlets, those different businesses.
Is there anything we can do to help expedite the process? Or
Well, I think it's important for everybody to understand the issues are at stake, whether students support Republicans or whether students support Democrats. It's important to understand the issues, and if you feel strongly one way or the other, you can call your local representative. Ann Kirkpatrick represents us here.
come October 17th, they're expected, or I'm sorry, the president is expected to ask Congress to raise the debt ceiling. So do you think we can expect another government shutdown when that comes?
Well, that's an interesting question. We have had government shutdowns in the past when governments has not received a new spending bill. Last time was 17 years ago. We have never, however, failed to raise the debt ceiling. So we've always raised the debt ceiling. We have never shut the government down through reduced debt ceiling.
Okay. I want to thank Fred Sala for being here. On behalf of NAZ Today, I'm Xavier Rangel.
Well, as of tomorrow, healthcare insurance will be required by all American citizens. To make this transition smoother, Benefit Logic, a local insurance provider, offers seminars and private meetings to help the community be more aware of how to become insured.
We're really excited about it, and North Country is going to be very involved in helping educate the public and helping people understand what options they have on the marketplace and help.
Citizens should note that plans vary and their options are not limited to the healthcare marketplace provided by the government. They can also find beneficial plans through their local agents.
We're going to be able to get insurance because there's going to be no more underwriting. Everything's a guarantee issue. Rates are going to be based on where you live, how old you are, and whether or not you use tobacco. So that's going to be great. There's also going to be subsidies available for people depending on their annual income. So as long as your household income is under the 400% of the federal poverty level, you'll qualify for some type of subsidy.
If you need assistance on insurance enrollment, High Country Healthcare will have about 50 trained employees available to the public for insurance counseling.
We have new information on a one-year investigation into illegal online gambling. Stay tuned.
And flu season is here again, and in order to stay healthy, we have all the information on the Flagstaff flu shot clinics.
Keep up with NAZ Today by adding us on Facebook, following our Twitter account @NAZ Today, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Stay connected with us no matter where you are.
Welcome back. A year-long multi-agency illegal online gambling investigation has reached a new point as 3 warrants were issued across the state last week. 1 warrant was for a business in Flagstaff, and the other 2 were at residences in Parks and Phoenix. About $100,000 in equipment and computers and $14,000 in cash was seized at these locations. Police Sergeant Corey Runge warns the public that these illegal gambling operations target vulnerable populations.
Tend to target lower income neighborhoods. They target women, they target the elderly, they target racial minorities, and that's who their general focus is.
Health officials urge us to protect ourselves and the health of others. NAZ, I don't think that's the right tag. All right, well, moving on. NAZ reporter Brooke Cowell sat down with Kimball Babcock to discuss the county's upcoming flu clinics. Having some technical difficulties on that story. All right, to make an appointment and get your flu shot, call 928-679-7331, and we'll have more on that story hopefully coming up for you a little bit later. The official investigation into the deaths of the 19 Yarnell firefighters is available to the public. We'll take you inside the report.
And we are still wondering if the federal government will be shutting down. More details coming up.
And as of tomorrow, every American is required to have health insurance. Find out how and where to get affordable health care.
All right, just about a perfect day across the state to close out the last day of September, last day of the month. Our high temperature 62 degrees, just a few degrees above the average of 68 for this time. You're a little bit on the chilly side out there this morning. We did hit 32 degrees here at Flagstaff Pulliam Airport. Some of the colder locations across Flagstaff, out by Fort Valley, getting down into the upper 20s, also down in Belmont, and that's a little bit below the average for this time of year. Record high 83. That's set back in recent memory, back in 2010. Also in September, we've received 3 1/4 inch of rain. So it's been a wet September. It was a wet August. It was a wet July. And hopefully we can keep that going here as we make our way through the fall months. Sunrise out there this morning is at 6:21, sunset 6:12. You may notice now that we are into the nights being a bit longer than our days, and obviously nights getting longer, days getting shorter. Currently outside, it is 63 degrees, clear skies, winds out of the southwest at 7 miles per hour. I don't think tonight's going to get down quite as cold as we've been the last few nights, as some strong high pressure in place. Talk about it here on the Pacific satellite imagery. Here we are in the southwestern United States. Obviously very, very quiet for much of the western U.S., and that's with the exception of of the Pacific Northwest. Up in the Pacific Northwest around Seattle, they have been getting a lot of moisture through the weekend. Several inches of rainfall, a couple feet of snow up in the Cascades. The Olympics even getting a little bit of snow, and it continues to rain in that area. So we have low pressure up to our north. High pressure really is what's in place for us across the lower tiers of the western United States, and it's going to remain that way for the next couple days. Out of this area of low pressure, way up here in the Gulf of Alaska, by Thursday time frame, another storm starts to develop through the Intermountain West, and it'll approach us on Thursday, and that'll bring us increasing winds. Another dry, cold front moves through. It'll really cool things off as we get into Friday with gradually warming temperatures as we get into the weekend. But for the most part, it's this high pressure that's in charge for us through midweek. Things change here as we get into Thursday. Okay, for us overnight tonight, 18% full moon, waning crescent moon, 35 degrees is my forecast for us officially here in Flagstaff. Clear and calm, and tomorrow's weather just about as beautiful. 71 degrees, beautiful October start. First day of October, looking to be a gorgeous day out there. We have no moisture in the forecast, but we'll be keeping an eye on that. As I mentioned, through this week, it doesn't look like anything really happening. Okay, statewide temperatures, Sedona dropping down to 48 tonight, 73 degrees tomorrow, down to 40. Forecast in Prescott, 68 degrees tomorrow, Tuba City 51, 65, Winslow 47 and 70. Okay, the extended forecast, there's not a cloud in it. It's sunshine the whole way through, all the way into Saturday. Beautiful days the next couple days. Breeze will start to pick up out there on Wednesday. We nudge temperatures down a little bit as the storm starts to approach. It really approaches on Thursday. Winds begin to really, we'll see winds in excess of 40 miles per hour. On Thursday, much colder behind the front. On Friday, coolest day of the week, and then we get into the weekend and right back to just very calm fall weather.
I thought today was gorgeous.
Yep, me and you both. It was just about perfect out there, and still just great opportunities to get outside and enjoy.
Still a few more days before it starts getting a little windy and a little cold.
I think none of us are in too much of a hurry for that, I don't think.
I think so. Yeah. All right, Chessa, what else we got going? A busy weekend for sports, right?
It was a crazy weekend for sports. I'm talking every sport you could imagine. Tons of football going on. We had everyone at home. So if you were here, hopefully caught the game. But if not, I got the updates for you coming up when we get back. Or we could just go right into it. Let's get started. So for their first home win against Montana since 1997 and a first sold-out Sky Dome since 1995, the NU Lumberjacks team took it to the house against the Montana Grizzlies this weekend. Just 7 minutes in, Zach was on the attack and scored back-to-back touchdowns. Bowman finished with 118 yards and 21 carries and thinks the offensive line really stepped up their game.
I mean, playing a team like Montana, you got to keep your composure, but I went to high school with Kyron, so, I knew he had it in him, and it didn't really surprise me. Defense was great. They've probably scored as many touchdowns as the offense has, and just have a defense with so many playmakers like that, it takes a lot of stress off the offense.
The defense killed any momentum from the top-ranked Grizzly offense. Sack after sack and 2 touchdowns led the Jacks defense to stop the All-American quarterback Jordan Johnson. NAU sophomore quarterback Kyron Poe had his best game of the season, completing 22 of 30 passes and 242 yards. Poe credits his offensive line. Coach Jerome Sowers was impressed by both the offense and the defense and thinks this win is one for the record books.
Our football program. I thought our coaching staff prepared our team very well. Today was a team win. I thought we had production in the offense, defense, and I'm just really excited about where we are.
Flagstaff Eagles played host to the Sabino SaberCats in a ridiculously high-scoring game that totaled 70 points in the second half. Sabino ran Flagstaff all over the field, had 100 yards more than Flag, and left the Eagles trailing by 21 points in the second until a connected TD pass by Kyle Wilson to Dylan Gifford put the Eagles on the board. Gifford had 2 touchdowns on the night. Wilson recorded 3 completed passes. Flagstaff fought hard in the fourth quarter and scored not 1, not 2, not even 3, but 4 touchdowns to throw off the SaberCat defense. But this wouldn't be enough, as the SaberCats would take this one 65-32. Flagstaff is on the road again against Mingus. We're going to keep in high school football. The Coconino Panthers hosted the Kingman Bulldogs for Friday Night Lights and had the game going their way until about the third quarter. The Panthers held Kingman to 6 points in the first half, but two Coco fumbles gave the Bulldogs momentum to score 28 points in the third. The Panthers fought back in the fourth, and sophomore quarterback Cristo Tabares scurried in for a 23-yard TD, but after an explosive Kingman offense in the third, it was already too late for the Panthers. The Bulldogs would take this one 34-21. Coconino hosts Bradshaw Mountain on Friday. Well, moving over to NAU soccer. The team kicked off Big Sky play this weekend with a double overtime 3-2 win on the road against Southern Utah. Senior goalkeeper Lauren Weaver was solid at the net with 9 saves. Freshman Lindsay Doyle tied the game up with her 3rd goal of the season, but sophomore Nicole Sherwin scored the game-winning goal with just 2 minutes left to take it all. The Jacks are at home again this weekend, taking on Weber State and Idaho State. Over on the court, the NAU volleyball team suffered their first Big Sky loss of the season in 4 sets against Sacramento State. 15 service errors and a lower hitting percentage left the Jacks short in this game. NAU's at home tonight against Southern Utah, so stick around right after the NAZ Today broadcast to catch the match. Well, moving over to professional football, the Arizona Cardinals were on the road this weekend in Tampa Bay playing the Buccaneers. Let's go ahead and head into that game where rookie quarterback Mike Glennon is making his debut for Tampa Bay and is going to lead his team out of the tunnel. First quarter, 3rd and 3 for the Bucs, and Glennon will complete the pass to Mike Williams to put the first points on the board. There he is again, Mike Glennon getting ready to prep up his team, his first start for the Bucs. Heading into it, first quarter, 3rd and 3 for the Bucs, and Glennon completes the pass to Mike Williams to put the first points on the board. The score will now be 7-0 Tampa Bay. First quarter, 2nd and 6. First quarter, 2nd and 6. Glennon looking for Vincent Jackson is packed up by Patrick Peterson. The Cards will take over on downs. 3rd and 3. For the Bucs, and Glennon completes the pass to Mike Williams to put the first points on the boards. The score 7-0 Tampa Bay. I wouldn't stay this long as 4th quarter we're going to head into 2nd and 6, and Glennon looking for Vincent Jackson eventually will be picked up by Patrick Peterson. The Cards will take over on downs. Still 4th quarter, Arizona on 1st and 10, and Palmer looking, he'll go deep, and you know, it was just ultimately a win for the Cardinals with a field goal. After, a crazy 4th quarter, they ended up taking the game.
Speaking of wins, it was a good win to make it through that Sportscast.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Some technical difficulties, obviously, but I was watching that game. I know a couple of us were watching that game. Yeah. Wild win for the Cardinals.
Absolutely.
Managed to pull it out against a battered-up Buccaneers team, and the Cardinals were pretty banged up themselves.
Mike Glennon, his debut start, 2 picks. Patrick Peterson was not having it.
Right.
So.
But they run their record at 2-2. They're looking pretty good going into
same with the Jacks
next
big win,
week.
too.
That's right.
Yeah.
Great win for the Jacks.
Yeah.
Always
Absolutely.
big. I know we didn't get it, but also baseball wrapped up the season.
Yep.
They
Against
won
the Nationals.
yesterday, but they ended up with a record 81-81, exactly like last year. So some things change, some things don't. Well, we're going to hope things are changing around a little bit for us. Hopefully we'll have a little bit more for you. Stick around. NAZ coming up more.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Hi, I'm Terry Markson. As seasons change, so does the inventory at Terry Markson Chevrolet Cadillac. We've got Northern Arizona's biggest selection of always changing certified pre-owned vehicles. All receive a thorough 172-point vehicle inspection, a 12-month, 12,000-mile warranty, and 2 years of free maintenance, including all oil changes. You can count on our certified pre-owns just as you can count on our relaxed, no-pressure environment. Terry Markson Chevrolet Cadillac, real hometown value.
kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
Live with a human for a while and you get to know a few things. Like, I know she's actually not a morning person. I know she does strange tricks for no treats. I know that water makes her howl like crazy. I even know how the floor stays so clean. She's quick. But the one thing I will never for the life of me know is how she gets so tiny and inside that box. Natalie, how do you get so tiny?
All right, welcome back, folks. Thanks for staying with us. Appreciate your patience. 71 degrees out there tomorrow. Looks beautiful all the way through midweek. Sunny skies all the way through the extended forecast. We do have a dry cold front that moves through on Thursday. Windy conditions, colder behind the front on Friday. Wind starts to calm down. I think we're breezy on both sides of that storm, Wednesday and Friday, but getting into this weekend, looking pretty nice.
You know, I'm looking forward to that weather shaping up. It's going to be a nice weekend, you know. It'll just be nice to relax and enjoy some sports and
lots of sports. There's sports going on every weekend, so I'll be there definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, we have that flu package for you guys. We'll have it for you tomorrow, all about those flu clinics for you. Lots of different stuff going on with that, and you want to make sure you get those flu shots.
And just in case the NAU football against Montana highlights were a little mixed up for you, we can have some more of that coming for you tomorrow as well. So,
all right. Well, thanks for joining us once again. We'll be back tomorrow at 6. We'll try and clean up some things and get it all ready to go. So
nice and pretty.
Be with us tomorrow and have a great night, everybody.